Good afternoon, and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X. And it is warm today, even with the air conditioning on. So I feel a little sloppy slow. Sloppy slow. I do. I kind of hit kind of points in the week where I go like, man, can I move the live broadcast here? But then it would have end up being like all random all week, and then that wouldn't work because I kind of go like, man, Saturday at 4, is that a good time? I think it's a good time. I know I'm sometimes tired at that time, and then it gets warm. All right, today we are. There's Catra. Go a little old school. There we are. Doing the thing. Gonna do me some Bluto today. That fat jerk. Seriously, I went through a couple character sheets of him today. Because he's been drawn a lot for many different animations. He's got to be approaching almost 100 years old at this point. I mean, he's an old character. There's some of them suckers are, what, 30s?
Yep.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Actually, before then, because remember,
Yeah,
Olive Oil and Popeye both appeared in some of the funnies.
Oh yeah, but I'm talking the animated stuff and specifically Bluto.
Let's find out.
And he's just such a fat-headed jerk that I literally looked at him and I was like, you know what, he'll be fun to do today because his head is kind of like an angry thimble. It is. It's like an angry thimble, which is kind of amazing.
Bluto made his first appearance in Thimble Theater in 1932.
Hey, Joe McPhee. Oh, yeah, no, I'm good. A.K. Brutus. Yeah, man, thank you. It's, I have, like, long work weeks sometimes, and then I'll get, like, a lot of eye strain, and I think that contributes to a lot of headaches. And then, flat out, with everything going on, sometimes it's just too much, and I get, like, anxiety and stuff, and that's no fun for you guys. It's no fun for me. So it's not, like, something dire, but I just hit some days where, woof, dude. Just, and I try. As a matter of fact, I've had a couple times where I wasn't feeling so hot, and I did the old sketch, and I actually felt really great afterwards. And there's times where I just felt like about 250 pounds of dump, and I tell you what, that's not a problem, sweetie. Tell you what, it is not an awesome place to be when you're trying to. I mean, it's not like I'm. What would be the word? Effervescent. That's the wrong word. But like, you know, people e. Social. That's probably the right word. Where'd I get effervescent from? Like sparkly Eric. I don't know what the hell that was.
Let's say your fizzy drink there.
Ooh, that's gotta be it. That's gotta.
It's either that or you're thinking like old school, like the old school stomach stuff from like from the 80s.
I might be. Maybe it was just I really liked that word. I'm not entirely sure where that came from. I like the word. I guess I just didn't get to use it as much as, you know, I would like to.
It's a very nice classic.
Dude, did you watch Bloodsport last night? Yeah, dude, how was it? Effervescent.
Very not correct use of the word, but close enough.
Effervescent. But yeah, it's funny. It's when I was younger, I was a huge like anime fan, and I still like it, but I've just come to the conclusion that I want basically a little bit of everything, and sometimes I just stick in like old black and whites like Popeye. And Bluto is an elemental character. He is just such a jerk. I mean, on so many levels. There's clearly he even just did stuff that they won't even animate anymore. He is just he's just a jerk. I mean, he is a hideous human being. And the funny thing is he's just like Olive Oil, where there's like a couple versions of him, all of which generally being jerks. Like the best version of him is still a jerk. The worst version of him is like criminally a jerk, like total hideous. Like we had movie night and had some friends over, and they hadn't seen original Popeye. So we showed them some. And there's a scene where Bluto just turns around and just grabs Olive Oil by the neck and just starts strangling her. And it really is, it's bad. And the one of my friends, she just was like, oh my God. I was like, oh yeah, no, he's a jerk. He's a jerk.
Yep, he's pretty much an a-hole.
I bet you get a strange look. Yeah, but you know what? That's true. Oh, Bloodsport. I actually have been getting into the mood to watch that again.
Yeah, the first one was pretty fun. And then they just made all these other weird ones. And I still think the funniest thing is, was it the second one or third one?
I never watched any more than the first one. As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, I don't remember there being more than one.
Yeah, there were.
Was there?
There were at least 3.
Oh, jeez. And I take it Van Damme wasn't in the other 2.
No, if I remember, there was a show on in the 90s during the whole TGI Friday stuff, and it was called Step by Step. It
Okay.
Was,
Yes, I remember.
Actor Duffy and like all the step kids. It was wannabe Brady Bunch, except we're funny, blah blah blah, 90s kind of crap.
Yeah.
And the one cousin of the group, his character name was Cody. Yeah, dude. And
Okay, I think I blanked that out.
Yeah.
That sounds horrific.
Played by a guy I think his name was like Sasha Mitchell. And the only reason why I remember because the name Sasha cracks me up. And
Dude's got a Russian chick name.
And he was the Bloodsport guy.
Was he
Yeah,
really?
So there was this like martial arts tough dude suddenly playing this. Oh, yeah, dude.
Oh, jeez. No.
And it was funny. Yeah. Yep. Cody. Yep. There's Cody was in it. Yep. he was. Yep. And I just remember the first time I saw that, I just laughed so hard. I was like, dude, is that Cody? Oh, dude.
Well, we watched that documentary on martial arts movies last night, which was.
Yes.
Do you remember the name of it? It was
Was it something kicks an iron fist?
something like that.
I'll
It was.
look it up.
It's really good. And what I love is they went over the serious history of martial arts movies, but they also went through all the silly stuff like that. I actually wish that they had done a little something with Bloodsport, because I'm not saying it's a great martial arts movie, but it's just a super fun martial art. Like there's the martial arts movies where you're like, that's a masterpiece. And then there's the ones where you're like, it's a masterpiece and it's fun. And then there's Bloodsport, which is in the category of, it's not a masterpiece, but it is really fun.
Iron fist and kung fu kicks.
That was it.
Yes.
Yeah, and that was super.
It was good.
That was, yeah, I really enjoyed myself.
It started off a little slow to me, but then it got really
Well,
good.
it had to talk about the early stuff and get the foundation down, and that usually is going to be slow. I mean.
But yeah, like Bloodsport, which is funny because I was a couple years ago.
I'm not even going to give them 2 rows of teeth. I'm just going to give them the old black and white jail bars.
Nice. Yep. A couple years ago, Target, they had like after during their Christmas sales, they had a bunch of just 80s and mainly 80s classic VHS boxes that contain T-shirts with the various movies and stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And so I saw them. I was like, okay, these are kind of cool. But I didn't find them until later on when they were marked down to like 70-80% off, which I was like, this is sweet
Good
because
for me.
I found myself a
The
Gremlins.
older I get, the cheaper I am.
Yeah, like they had Gremlins, they had RoboCop, and they had Bloodsport.
I would have loved RoboCop and Bloodsport.
Yeah, they only had certain sizes, and I
Yeah, it's
grabbed
a
one
shame.
for myself. And actually, no, they did have like a extra large, a double extra large, but you were going on your don't buy me any more T-shirts.
And that's true. It's just in the grand scheme of things, I would have liked it. But you're right. I don't need more T-shirts right now.
Yeah, but that was like a couple of years ago. But yeah, I grabbed the
Even then.
yeah, so I grabbed the Bloodsport one. Actually, I grabbed all three of those. And the Bloodsport one, I've been trying to find. It's in my drawer somewhere, but it's been so hot. I just don't feel like wearing T-shirts. I've been wearing like my A shirts and my tank tops. I'm sorry, but yeah, the Bloodsport one is just it's was it Frank? What was it? Frank Dumas? What was the character's name?
Frank Dukes.
Dukes. Yeah.
Yes.
But it's like
Dumas, I think, is the guy that wrote Three Musketeers. But
Yes.
I don't think his first name was Frank.
No, I don't know. It was something with the do, but yeah,
Frank
Dukes.
Dumont.
Well, he is Belgian, and that's pretty. There's a lot of French people are in Belgium, so.
Was he Belgian? That's
a
a form of French, isn't it?
German.
It was so close. It's
Yeah,
like
close.
right on the border area where you can't quite tell which is which. Yeah.
But Van Damme is, if I remember, he is Belgian.
Yeah, I was about to say he's one of those.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually, the funny thing is it's a real shame. And it was because he was hokey, but I also loved these sort of the over-the-top split kicks and stuff, and the fact that he was kind of cheesy. I loved that as a kid, because I kind of like cheesy martial arts flicks that are a little cartoonish, so he's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Especially Bloodsport, it kind of being a cartoon character while actually being physically impressive, and doing like the like split kicks and stuff like nobody else was doing. And so he was like one of my favorites. And then I had some of the Chinese guys that I just never knew the names of. Gordon Liu and Bruce Lee and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And found out later that apparently the guy's just like a real douche. And you're like, oh, that's such a shame.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've heard he's just a real jerk.
Oh yeah, of course, 90s. Teenage Sheeta had a huge crush on him because muscly dude martial arts.
Well, he was in freaky
Yeah.
shape. I mean, he was good. You know, he was a good-looking dude,
Yeah.
too.
And plus, he was in like my all-time favorite bad movie, Street Fighter, which, once again, super huge. Love me some Street Fighter. Still do. Dancing was cheesy.
Oh, it was terrible.
And that
It's
was
terrible. The man can't dance.
Oh my! But
And that's coming from somebody who can't
And the
dance.
thing is, he loves to do it, but he's such a goober with it. It's like with not Bloodsport? What was it, Bloodsport? No, shoot, what was the one he was going around doing like the underground fights? Oh shoot.
Lionheart?
Yes.
I can't believe I remembered
That
that.
was like my.
There was the pool fight at the end, or the pool was all cleared
Oh,
out.
no, that was in the middle.
Was in the middle?
That was part of it.
I almost
But
remembered it right.
Yeah.
I did pretty good.
It was like that, another and Bloodsport, when he was dancing. It's like, oh my gosh, dude! And he made an appearance on some like Brazilian show or something where he was trying to dance, and they had to actually push him back because he was doing the whole like creepy grind against the hot Brazilian chick hostess, and he popped a boner mid show.
Oh, Van Damme. At most, we want to see the butt, because that's what you kept showing us. So I guess we all got used to it. So we're like, don't show us that. Show us the butt. Yes.
He's a gross dude. He was married to his wife. I think he had a kid, but he was at least married for the fact. But in Street Fighter, when that was being filmed, he was actually cheating on his wife with the chick who played Cammy, Kylie Minogue.
I'm
And
pretty liberal about stuff,
Yeah.
but you do not cheat on your wife.
And so the whole joke was the fact that he was writing his fan fiction of Guile hooking up with Cammy.
You know, the sad thing is that movie was so horrific, and it wasn't difficult for them to do a decent Street Fighter 2 movie. It's just that they openly chose to screw it up. And I never got that. Every single time I see a movie where you just go, why didn't you just do the thing? You know?
And
just do the thing, and they can't, and that always bugs the crap out of me because I'm like, you know, you could have just done the thing.
okay. I understand because, like I said, huge Street Fighter fan.
Mm-hmm. I liked it. I'm not like huge, but I liked it as a kid too. I loved playing it and stuff, and I went to go see that movie in the theaters, and I was just sitting there going like, what the heck is this? Guys, it's a dumb cartoon fight storyline. It's not hard to do.
See, you do or not. See, me and my best friend, we went to go see it. We were enjoying the heck out of it.
Well, I did have fun, but I was having fun when I went, oh, it's an awful movie. So I just turned over to the it's an awful movie mode to have fun, and not like I'm watching Street Fighter. I'm watching, you know, like a cheap knockoff of Street Fighter. Like, you know, Alley Puncher.
Yeah.
I was watching Alley Puncher, the movie. You know, best I could do at the moment. I'm like, I'm watching Alley Puncher.
Boulevard Fisticuffs.
Boulevard Fisticuffs. You have beaten me. Oh my God. I whipped something out real quick that was okay, but then you just came back and you just floored. You just floored me. Mine did not compare. I don't even remember what it was. It sucks that bad.
Allie. Oh shoot, what was yours? Allie.
It doesn't matter. It sucks. It's long gone. It's dead and buried. Yours. Because I'm imagining like really proper old British dudes in a Street Fighter 2 game.
Or there was the one character that came later on. His name was Dudley, the black butler guy. Who's all, who's all the pugilist. Furious Pugilism 3.
That's the other one. That's Avenue Pugilist.
Avenue Pugilist. Oh my God.
Yeah, but it's a shame that, I agree, Joe. Raul Julia, with that being his last movie, that was...
Yeah. Well, that you get like, again, and I understand why some changes had to be made. And I understand that there's a fan following and stuff. I understand all of these things. But the Super Mario Brothers movie is the weirdest, like, you're like...
I didn't get it.
It made no sense. There was stuff in it that it was found nowhere in the games. They just wholesale went, yeah, we're going to keep Mario and Luigi and show them in the outfits at one point. And that was it. You're just like, I got it. I got that they had to probably change some stuff, but they changed so much. Avenue Avengers, that's pretty good.
Nice.
Waste of Raul Julia. Yeah, especially like after, because I really like the Addams Family movies. I get that they're not brilliant, but they're fun.
Oh, they were great.
They were fun. They were in my fun category. And I just so enjoyed them. And like everybody in it, even the people that played like characters that were like not the most important thing ever, still did a wonderful job. And, you know, they just had fun with it. You know.
It was a great movie because growing up, I was not a big Addams Family fan because I didn't.
I liked them pretty much.
I didn't.
Pretty,
Well,
quite
I
a bit.
didn't like creepy.
Oh, I did.
Yeah,
I was that fat kid everyone made fun of. I might as well have liked creepy, you know.
Yeah, and I was the weird nerdy black girl that everyone made fun of. But and things, it wasn't my deal. But those movies made me like them. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's for me. That's how I know there was a good movie because.
They weren't your thing, yeah.
It took characters I normally didn't care for and went, like, oh, these are actually really fun.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for the series, but I liked the movies. And I'm kind of a segue. Well, to say sidebar, I can't remember if did the animated movie come out already? Because I know there was a 3D.
I remember hearing stuff about it, but I don't know if it's been out, coming out, is out.
I think
no idea.
It came out, but we just didn't hear much about it because I don't know if it did very well or if they would.
Well, they're kind of taking a risk with stuff like that because unless you do Addams Family like full blow, you know, like if anything in it is apologetic or they look at the camera at some point and go wink, it's like no, it's supposed to be ridiculous, but it's supposed to be dark, you know. In the 90s version did pretty darn good for what it was. I would have liked it to have been a little darker. Funny, but darker. So they I think they were riding the line and they still ended up, because of the talent, having a really fun movie.
It did come out.
But I looked at the animated version and went, man, if they don't do this right, this is.
It came out and yeah, it came out last year, and I mean it looked alright. It was put out by MGM. Who was the cast? The kid who played the main kid in Stranger Things, Finn Wolfhard, who was Pugsley. Charlize Theron.
You know, everything she's done is okay. Fury Road.
Yeah. Bette Midler was Grandmama. Snoop Dogg was Cousin It.
Y'all.
Giggity, diggity, giggity, 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 giggity.
That's actually pretty fabulous.
So I have to try
How in the world did Snoop Dogg do it? He has done the most messed up non-PC stuff possible. Wasn't he hosting like a porn show? I mean, just crazy, stoned out stuff.
not that I'm aware of.
Oh yeah, I was listening to Rogan and they were talking about how he was like doing live commentary on porn that was being filmed in the next room. I mean, crazy level stuff and just being stoned out of his mind 24/7. I mean, crazy stuff. And yet he's getting onto like family animated movies. You know, you're like, how do you do that in today's age? It's like everyone just goes like, yeah, we're gonna be mad about everything and not let people do stuff, blah blah blah. Except for Snoop Dogg. He can do the craziest stuff ever. We're just gonna look way past him.
Well, I think for him,
Which I'm fine with. I'm just saying, I wonder how he did it.
well, for him, honestly, I think it's just the fact that because he, for the most part, he is what he is. He's not trying to hide anything. He's a professional businessman.
Yeah, no, I hear ya.
He's a good father. And
But usually because I work in a corporation, usually a bunch of corporate people up top would go, oh, there's a risk. My God, what kind of risk? A small risk? We can't do that. I mean, the moment a risk is involved, a lot of corporate people run the other direction. They try to go for the easiest, safest answers possible. And Snoop Dogg does not fall under my category of easy, safe, you know, which I'm awesome with. That's why I'm like, no, he's awesome because of that, you know.
He's kept his nose clean. He's done pretty much good stuff.
Sure.
One of my favorite.
Not saying he didn't.
One of my favorite. Well, I think that's why he's able to do stuff because he hasn't. Everyone thinks he's a bad guy, but he's like one of the most nicest, clean guys ever.
I never said that he wasn't, but however, he has also done some really crazy stuff too.
I think
Not bad stuff, but kind of out there. So
I think that's it. You can do crazy, but you're fine. I think one of my favorite things was when he was hosting the cooking show with Martha Stewart, and somebody made the comment.
I forgot about that.
Somebody made the comment. Isn't it funny? One of these people is a felon.
And it ain't Snoop.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. Yes. Bluto. Blast Comics.
Hey, Blast Comics, how are you doing? Nice to see you.
Oh my God, what kind of comics are those? Blast Comics.
Yeah. Awesome. You're gonna have a good name.
Yeah, basically what I try to do here is I do a lot of corporate design work all week, and I try to do my own stuff. I've always really loved characters, so what I decided to do, and by the way, both of you, thank you for showing up and hanging out, because I would say our average numbers of viewers is pretty much zero. And I'm doing this for the fun of it. If I get somewhere, cool. But right now I've come to the conclusion this is like video 90 something, 100 and something, and our average is still pretty well zero. I'm not trying to do a sap story. And so what I do is I've always loved characters. So sometimes I do. It's like last week. I was actually really proud of how this turned out. I did Catra last week from She-Ra, and before that I did original 80s Catra. So I try to, just as a generalist, learn from characters. So I don't believe in a country being better than anyone else. I don't believe in a specific style being better. So sometimes I go right down to really old stuff because, to be honest, I firmly believe this. I think the rubber hose style of animation needs to kind of come back. I think that there was some really good stuff there. Every single time I watch the old black and whites, I just laugh so hard. And Bluto, I get it. Bluto is, yeah, some of the stuff he's done, we probably can't get away with anymore.
Well, some of the rubber hole stuff.
But he's still a great villain. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Let's see, the rubber hole stuff in some aspects, I like the fact that people are trying it out again. I mean, we're getting
Yeah.
Cuphead the animated series coming
Yeah.
out soon.
The thing that I really enjoy about it is there's this real soft, organic looseness to everything. So there's, if you pause, I mean, and I did it. If you pause on old Popeye and you study what's going on with the anatomy and stuff, you're just like, some of this doesn't even make sense. But then you hit play and everything just moves and flows and you're laughing and you're not thinking and you're, and I love anime and all that, but I don't want to necessarily use the word anal, but they're super detail oriented, super, super clean, stick to like some pretty specific rules. And the old rubber hose stuff was like, dude, whatever works,
Well, yep. I mean, that's, to be fair, a lot of stuff in anime was inspired by a lot of that.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm not saying all anime exactly looks like what I just described because there's always outliers. I'm just simply saying that it's really good that there are all this different stuff out there. Like when I posted the little post about the live stream today, I was like looking around. I forget what it was, but there was like one of the groups had this thing where it was like, what's the difference between anime and American cartoons? And somebody's snarky response was, American cartoons, the mouths and eyes are drawn the right size. And I just sat there and I stopped. I'm like, no, they're not. No, they're not. They're not even close. And the beauty of this stuff is that it's different. That's why I'm like, Bluto. Today I'm doing Bluto because I can learn. Look at this. This is a can of beans. This is this is a solid brick of teeth and anger, surrounding an ugly ass nostril. And that's why this is awesome. That's why Bluto is amazing. Also, why many other cartoons, for various reasons, are amazing. And I just love the differences. So I don't think I'm ever going to get locked down into going like, unlike my youth. I am so sorry for my youth. Where style-wise, I'm going like, no, everything. Give me everything. I want to see everything. Let me learn from everything. Because I got Boomerang, where we stream Popeye in HD. Wow, it's beautiful. And I was watching it. I'm like, I'll just throw an episode or two in. I'm winding down for the night, and I sat there for the last hour and a half of the night. Just my eyes opened up, going like, I had forgotten how good this was, and how much thought they put into it.
Well, I mean, Fleischer Studios, that time period was
They were
absolutely
good.
amazing. I mean, the Superman stuff they were coming out with, the fluidity of it.
Mm.
Oh man, and of course, once again, a little bit, because of some of the content stuff. But
Well,
besides, that was the
Time period.
the time
You have to
period.
forgive them for
But
time
man,
period.
it's just for the simplistic designs that they had, they told so much and such a great story. And oh man, just I love the fluidity of a lot of the characters, and I love the designs on them. And I mean, they went from doing realistic caricature with Superman to doing just the crazy stuff they did with like Popeye and a lot of I'm trying to think some of the other stuff they went through. But yeah,
The old Superman stuff was just amazing. The fact that people don't remember old Fleischer Studio Superman stuff is a shame. Because honestly, I was really watching it, and I sat there and I suddenly realized, I was like, wait a minute. I'm not saying this is exactly right, but it's close enough. One of Disney's major competitors was Fleischer. And you saw, and I saw especially in Superman, they were neck to neck on quality. They may not have had length, like Disney would do, like the big feature length stuff, but like the Superman shorts from, it was the 30s or 40s,
I want to say 40s at that time.
like early 40s maybe.
40s to 50s, because it was after, it was around or during and after the war.
Yeah, because I remember that they had, forgive the name, the episode Japatours, where
Yes.
Superman goes over and just abuses the Japanese.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying it's historically interesting, and that's why I was like, I know it was during the war, but I couldn't remember beyond that.
Right.
That you just, it's like people want to kind of go after this stuff for, and I'm not saying the stuff was right, but it's how things were at the time, and it's like if you want to appreciate stuff, you have to know the history of it and understand how things were. And I'm not saying the sheer full-blown, like, rapey misogyny of Bluto was fine. I still hit moments where, and I'm used to it, and I have the historical context in my head, and I'm just enjoying it for what it is. And I still have moments where I'm like, dude, no.
Cringe.
No.
No, bro. Keep
No,
it.
dude. like I said, there's moments in Popeye, like for example, and I mean this, there's not a ton of racism in Popeye. Is it there? Yeah. But compared to other stuff, there's like less racism in Popeye than there was in Warner Brothers.
And Superman.
In Superman. In Superman,
Yeah,
I'm not defending. I'm just simply saying that, as a matter of fact, there was some stuff there, like my favorite little bits are where, why Popeye beats up large animals, I understand, but I also kind of go like, that poor bull did not deserve that. But he would like beat up a bull, and he'd like uppercut it, and it would explode into different cuts of meat that would like land like butcher style. So you saw all the cuts of meat. And my favorite one, and it's almost always there, the kosher cuts are there. They go out of their way to go no. The kosher selection is in there too, and they do it a lot, which is actually kind of funny. And so you just go like, maybe Fleischer Studios was Jewishly owned or inspired, or maybe they were just
Well,
like,
they are Jewish.
dude, kosher food is awesome. I don't care what the explanation is. I just, every single time they did it, I would laugh, going like, they've got the kosher cuts, you know. Like,
And then there's all the other
Popeye
side.
is kosher.
The other side of it, while he would do that, Popeye was a huge animal lover because he actually rescued
Yeah.
many animals. throughout
But when the
episode.
animals are evil, he's horrific to them.
Hey, he's only acting in self-defense.
Whereas Bluto, on the other hand, he will just abuse anything. I'm so serious. There's episodes where I'm just going like, Bluto, the biggest jerk in the world ain't that mean. What is wrong with you, dude?
He has some issues.
He does. He's perfectly a cartoon just dick. He is a hideous person. And that's when people go like, why do you appreciate that? I'm like, because it's a cartoon character. Like, they're supposed to symbolize things. They're not real.
And guess what he was doing?
And guess what he is? He's a horrific person. Just like all of the 3 or 4 different versions of Olive Oyl, not drawn-wise, but her personality-wise, several of them are horrific personalities. So you're just going like, Olive Oyl's a horrible person, and then there's the ones where she's awesome, and you're like, Olive Oyl is awesome! You know? Oh, I'm sorry, guys, you've been saying stuff.
I was about to say that. I was going to say that.
I love Captain Caveman in the rotation. Oh, right now I am working on him, that exact version, where I'm inking it and doing a full color version of it. And I mean this, Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels is a terrible show. I love the idea of it, though. I want them to go back and redo it. Because there's nothing funnier than 3 teenage girls traveling around completely unchaperoned except by a naked 40-year-old Neanderthal with a club and a cape. It's so wrong.
1 million year old. Or was he?
Is he a million? I don't care whatever he is.
He's
He's
a caveman.
old. He's a caveman.
He's like at least like I think it was like it's a 1 billion BC or something.
Something
He's
like
very
that.
old. He's
He-
a caveman.
He's Hanna-Barbera old. It's some ridiculous, wonderful number like that. And I like the idea of a caveman and 3 teen girls solving mysteries for no apparent reason. I do. I think it's a hilarious idea. The show, however, is hard, and I really do. It's hard to watch.
He says, I'm a massive Bruce Timm fan. Oh, we are too. Love Bruce Timm. Really great
Oh,
stuff.
Bruce Timm, yeah.
Yeah.
It's the thing is, a lot of the writers were Jewish. That doesn't surprise me. The Sinbad, the Sinbad
Blue
one.
goatee, yep. And clean shaven.
Oh, I know,
Yes.
right? Let's not exactly
Yes.
say that live, but I totally agree. she will just turn from one dude. It's like there's 3 or 4 versions, and one of them specifically does not love any human being. She just goes for the first piece of shiny man meat she can find. That will. I mean, she's a total horrible stereotype. It's also why I love her, because you hit these moments where you're like, which olive oil do we get today? You can't tell. My favorite, by the way, and this is my favorite version of olive oil. They did it several times. It is the Fight by Popeye's Side olive oil. Not only the faithful woman to the man, that aside, the faithful woman to the man who will fight tooth and nail at his side. That is my favorite version of her. Every single time that version popped up was like some of my favorite episodes, because I loved watching Olive Oil fight. I loved watching Olive Oil beat up Bluto or Brutus. I want to know, were they twin brothers?
No, they had to change the name for, I think, for like copyright.
I was kind of hoping there was 2 of them. I'm like, please tell me there's 2 of those jerks.
Let's see. Let me, because I actually remember the name of that. Let's see, what happened with that? Pluto. See, after the theatrical Popeye cartoon series ceased production in 1957, Bluto's name was changed to Brutus because it was incorrectly believed that Paramount Pictures, distributors of the Fleischer Studios, later Famous Studios cartoons, owned the rights to the name Bluto. King Features actually owned the name, as Bluto had been originally created for the comic strip. Due to a lack of thorough research, they failed to realize this and reinvented him as Brutus to avoid supposed copyright problems. Brutus, also often pronounced Brutus by Popeye,
Brutus.
Yep.
I love Popeye.
appeared in the 62 Popeye the Sailor television cartoons, with his physical appearance changed, making him obese rather than muscular.
He flipped back and forth in the original too.
Yeah.
And then there was one in between. No, there was fat and muscular, and then there was just big gorilla hulking muscle. And I don't think they even knew back when they were doing the original black and whites which one he was. Because when I was doing the looking up the character sheet for this, I found like 3 or 4 where you look at it, you're like, they're almost the same, but you can go, that's the fat one, that's the big strong one. It's actually really funny, and I'm trying to remember some of the cartoonists that I've seen on Facebook and around. They will do like Popeye and Dragon Ball Z or Popeye and Street Fighter.
Marcus Williams, he did.
Thank you. Okay, yes, that's right.
I love his.
His Popeye is wonderful.
Yeah, was it the last month he did a Popeye meets Dragon Ball Z.
I saw a
That was
couple of
pretty
those.
fun.
I didn't get the olive oil one. That one I thought he missed, but the other ones were amazing.
I like the one he did a few years ago, where he wanted to do a Popeye versus Street Fighter.
Yeah, I remember some of
And
those
it was
too.
like he was
Popeye was a beast. He was just all massive
It
and
was like Popeye versus Akuma. I love this particular piece because when he did that, Popeye was doing the arm spin. So it was like and he was like
Yeah.
facing Akuma, and Akuma was like doing all the whole
Sure.
like, dark Hadou energy stuff. And I was like, oh, I would do it. I would want that in a print. That was
Well,
so cool.
I'm actually wanting them to go back to Popeye and do Popeye again. But I don't want them to make it family friendly. I'm not saying make it like over the top and overly mature or gory or anything. But I kind of want to be like, I want to see that old brute force Popeye that just goes in swinging. and see what the current writers and animation stuff can do with it.
Well, I think we were almost going that way when Gennady Tartakovsky, when he had his Popeye run, and they shut it down with Sony.
The one where Olive Oil fought the character from Harvey Toons, I can't remember. I can't think of the name. That sounds so familiar.
Oh, was that the one, the blonde chick, when the who owns the?
I'm not
who
sure.
owned
Maybe
the,
that was. She
yeah.
also fought a couple others too. You know, I'm blanking right now. I know one of my favorites is where she fought the blonde boxer, but I don't think that's what he's talking about. Gee, that sounds so familiar. I know. When Olive Oil fought and they did it right, she was so funny. That's why I want them to go back in and like do the old American fighting cartoons again. You know, because honestly, I think America lost something when some of that stuff went away. I'm not saying that we haven't gained some of it back, but there's a tradition there that's just wonderful. Again, some of it wasn't awesome. I'm putting that aside. The bulk of it was so much fun. And I'm not even a singing song guy, so the singing song stuff that was in Popeye is not necessarily my favorite moments, but it was still fun. So, and mostly because I kind of like the history of it too. So I'm like, okay, the old singy song stuff, that's cool. But there's just some fun there, you know, and I kind of want to see a little bit of America. We've gotten some of our mature animation back, but it's in a different mentality.
Hillbilly woman, he says.
Hillbilly woman. Wow, now that I'm thinking about it, doesn't sound familiar. Maybe I missed that one.
Yeah, let's find out.
Dude, I think I need to see that one.
It's probably one of the ones where you actually did see it, we just didn't know the character.
It's true. On the same note, I've watched Popeye multiple times while I'm like relaxing at the end of the night, and I have probably fallen asleep a number of times, and have entirely skipped some episodes, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. That was one of the ones. That's one of the ones where we hadn't got to those. It was the 56.
The color ones.
Yeah.
Was it in color?
Yeah.
Because the color.
Possum Pearl.
Okay, the color ones. I'll be super honest here. I have always, even as a little kid, had a problem with the color. Not the original color ones from the black and white period, but when it went to full color later. I just never got into those. So I think, honestly, I skipped those. Did they get better? Tell me. Did they get better? Because I have always had a problem with those. So I have missed that one. The one that always wanted a man.
Yeah, Possum Pearl, a hillbilly woman, is singing the blues about her lack of a partner when she spots Popeye and Olive Oil driving by the countryside. She shoots one of their tires out and snatches Popeye away.
Sweet.
Pearl is a large, imposing lady with the strength and aggressiveness, wow, easily matching Bluto's.
Oh, that does sound good.
Both unwilling to fight off a mere woman and unable to even resist her advances. All the fighting is then left to Olive, who was nevertheless able to get her boyfriend back and drive away until the pushy backwoods Amazon grabs him again and elopes on a boat.
Marvelous. You know, they should have kept that up and had a Brutus at the time, probably. Have him finally meet up with that hulking chunk of a woman.
If I'm not mistaken, I thought like later on the 80s cartoons. I thought like he actually
Popeye and Son?
yeah. Well, the
Why did that
Popeye
poor kid have
Power.
no teeth? Why did that poor kid have no teeth? Popeye, take your son to the dentist.
I can't remember. Was Popeye and Son? Was his son actually Sweet Pea? No, it was Popeye Jr. It's like I thought it was like Sweet Pea.
Well, the thing was, they were never actually totally saying if Sweet Pea was actually like. I think it was in some of the versions, Sweet Pea was like an adopted kid or like
Yeah.
Olive Oil's kid from another dude or
He
whatever,
was,
you know. And
he was adopted. He was. He became. It was a ward, basically the ward. But
a ward of the Popeye.
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm saying Popeye.
He
and Son,
was Popeye's Dick Grayson, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Right on.
I was saying with Popeye and Son, I couldn't remember if the kid was Popeye Jr. or was it Sweet Pea? And I'm gonna look that up now because
I want to say it was Popeye Jr., but I'll be super honest. I do not clearly remember that
yes,
show.
it was Popeye Jr. Yes, so they.
Oh, okay. I clearly remember that show.
Yeah, because I was like, wait, what's it Popeye Jr.? But yeah, they kind of pushed aside Sweet Pea for that matter, and it was like, oh well, they're married and they have a kid now, and like Olive Oil wears a tracksuit.
Well, the funny thing about the color versions, and it was hit or miss. So yeah, I'll try to go back and watch them. I remember as a kid having a tough time, and then I watched the first couple and was just also having a tough time. But one of the things that I don't care for, and I know this sounds absurd, I like Olive Oil ugly. I like her homely. The reason why I say that is the thing that I like about Popeye. Everybody in Popeye is ugly, except for the pretty people, who are like God attractive, and that is so funny. Because I love the Depression era Popeye stuff where everything is ugly, everything is busted, everything is down and out, everything is just a filthy, falling apart, drunken mess of a show. Where you're certain everybody was just sauced up before they got into a brawl. That is funny stuff. And they're never going to do that again. And there's something about that I'm like, dude, that is so awesome. Like,
Well, like I said, I think we were. Ryan was on. Ryan Schultz.
oh,
Hey, Ryan.
hey, how's it going?
Wait, who was Sweet Pea then?
was-
Sweet Pea was Popeye. Well, Popeye and Olive's.
Well, it was a
boy.
Depression era cartoon, so
Yeah.
chances being they stole Sweepy. Probably as a source of food until he discovered spinach. And then they went, oh, let's just keep it around. Depression era cartoons. No?
No.
Okay, I had to try. No? No. Shut up, Eric. They were not going to eat Sweepy.
Do this.
And actually, what's really funny is it's actually Sweepy. There's no T.
Yeah, Sweet Pea.
It's sweet. I thought it was Sweet Pea for years, and then I looked and researched it. I'm like, oh, it is Sweepy.
Yep.
No T. Sweepy.
SWEE apostrophe capital PEA.
Sweepy.
Yeah, sweet pea. Not sweepy.
Sweepy.
Oh,
Because
Sweet
it's
Pea.
Popeye and everything is mispronounced on Popeye.
Well, it's the time period. They did a lot of
Yeah, no, it's-
names and stuff, which I always thought was pretty cool.
I'm not saying it's wrong.
Oh yeah. I know.
I'm just saying that's one of the things that I actually like about it is they're like, nope, these are dumb, filthy, violent people. Laugh at them. You just go like, wow. They ain't pulling punches on this show. Like, literally. It's just one of...
Aw. Right, so I miss you guys.
Thanks, man.
Hey,
We miss you
man.
too. It's just one of those... Well, I'll be honest with you. Part of it is you and Ryan knows the work that we do, but you go to work and everything is so squeaky clean and corporate, and it gets old. And then you go to the politically correct kind of like, and I agree with some of it. Some of it just drives me crazy. But the culture right now is so politically correct that it makes me want politically incorrect stuff. It's just, there's so much stuff out there where I'm like, can we just be a little raw and nasty and dirty? I'm not saying that it's right or that it's wrong, just that squeaky clean wears on my nerves. It really does. And so when I watch some of the old cartoons, and there's moments where I'm like, oh, dude, wow, guys, seriously. But on the same note, I'm also kind of like, yeah, no, kind of like, thank you. You know, like, I know it's a little wrong. But it's also not real. It's a cartoon. And, you know, it's kind of awesome that you can just watch a cartoon and just laugh at things that are just kind of even horrifically wrong sometimes. Because it's not real. It's not real. It's a cartoon. And that's why, like, Popeye is great, because you go back and you watch it and you go, did they just strangle Olive Oil? You're like, oh my god. That poor woman. Why are you going after these men? They're horrific people. You know?
Yep.
Olive oil. I hate to say this, but you're kind of asking for it. Like that whole, like, she asked for it thing. She kind of does on the show where you're like, dude, no, olive oil, don't. These are not the right people for you. And then there's the ones where she's a horrible person, and it kind of counterreacts that. You know, you're like, oh my god. She was going to go out like Grave of the Fireflies. Oh. What was the deal with Alice?
The Goon. Oh, Alice the Goon.
I'm wondering that myself because I was like getting back into Popeye.
I actually know her history. Give me a second, because I remember some of it, but I want to make sure I'm correct.
Yeah, let Lashida fill you up
Because
on this
I
one.
actually remember Alice the Goon.
Because I'm not up on that one.
I don't want to start saying crap out of my butt, at least not yet, because. Let me see. So I want to say she was originally from Thimble Theater. She was one of the weird characters there. Okay,
Yeah, Ryan. Yeah.
Frisk the cat. Heck yeah. But yeah, that would be cool. All right.
They will not touch that with a 400-foot pole. But yeah, you're right.
Well, Frisk the cat he's cool though. I mean, he was originally.
Which is why they won't do that. He's cool. That's my point. They won't touch him.
I mean, he was like the original, like the clock that with the black with the swinging eyes. Bradford getting that back on there, like getting.
Yeah, but beyond that, you know, there's just stuff that they won't touch unless it is the squeakiest of squeaky clean, which is a shame. I'm you know, they can do what they want. That's their decision. But unless it is the safest of the safe, they will not touch it because we have suggested like Jessica Rabbit. There's nothing really dangerous about Jessica Rabbit. They will not touch her.
Except for her curves.
Except for like a lot of wow. But beyond that.
Okay, here we go. Alice the Goon. Alright. Originally premiered December 10th, 1933 in the Thimble Theater strip part of the Plunder Island storyline. Initially unnamed and of unspecified sex, she works as a guard for the Sea Hag. Right? Remember the Sea Hag, yeah. A vicious pirate and the last sorceress on Earth. Alice is portrayed as an Amazonian giantess, bald with a large nose, reminiscent of a proboscis monkey, with no visible mouth, and extremely hairy forearms and legs.
Like the other goons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her name and sex are given in the January 14th, 1934 strip after she captured Wimpy. Alice first appears with the Sea Hag, or when the Sea Hag returns to Sweet Haven, searching for a former slave named Kringley, the only one who knows the location of her lair, Plunder Island. After capturing Wimpy and locking him in the deck of her ship, the Black Barnacle, the Sea Hag orders the Goon, keep an eye on him, Alice. The characters and readers now realize Alice is female. Upon arriving at Plunder Island, Popeye and Alice fight violently, and Popeye threatens to throw Alice off a cliff until her child, also of an unspecified sex, appears and shouts, "Ah!" Realizing that he's fighting a woman, which goes against his principles, Popeye releases Alice and discovers that she became a Sea Hag slave only because the hag had threatened her baby. Alice is the leader of a race of goons enslaved by the Sea Hag. Popeye and Alice lead them in a successful Spartacus-like slave rebellion.
I think I have missed this one, and I think I need to watch this one.
I think you fell asleep, so I remember watching that.
Okay, look, I'm going to go back and find it, because that sounds freaking... Because I saw some of the Goon Island stuff, but I think I missed that one.
Yeah, I think you might fall asleep on that one.
I can't help it. I'm fat, I'm old, and I fall asleep easy.
Well, this one hit. Okay, then.
It's one of my skills.
Truth is stranger than fiction.
Well, no, I just don't believe in lying.
Let's see. At the time, Alice caused controversy with protective parents who claimed that her frightening appearance alarmed their children. Alice was therefore toned down to become a gentler and more motherly apparition. So that stuff goes all the way back even to like the 30s and stuff, where people would think of the children.
I wish the Think of the Children stuff would stop. I really do. I don't think it's good for the kids. Which is funny to say, but I think it's true.
In later appearances, Alice starts wearing a skirt and a flowered hat. Her tribe live on Goon Island, and the goons are indistinguishable from each other. When Alice speaks, her words appear as a series of meaningless squiggles. Wimpy is the only one who can understand her language. After being liberated from the Sea Hag, Alice comes to live with Olive Oil and becomes a nursemaid to baby Sweet Pea.
All right.
I remember what was that Alice the Goon? Like, for some reason, I remember her or somebody going on, I love Popeye. I love Popeye.
Okay, that sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah.
All right, because
Nice.
yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty good, and I know for a fact that I need to go use the little boy's room and think
Aw.
about something resembling dinner.
You got a tinkle in the
I
binkle?
got, I'm getting the need for the tinkles.
Tinkle in the binkle?
Anywho. Oh, thank you for everyone for showing up today. It was awesome to have all kinds of peoples.
Thank y'all, yes.
And we got ourselves some Bluto action going on. And next time around, don't know what's going here, but I do know it is smooching that mug, which is a horrific thing to smooch. So everyone have yourself a good week. We will, in fact, catch you.
Oh, you're going to do your Mr. Rogers?
I just
There you
forgot
go.
my Mr. Rogers
Yeah, I was
bit,
saying,
so
you
I'm
can't
going to
mess
go
those
do
up.
that because it is warm and my brain not fully running at the moment.
You're forgetting your whole party stick there, sweet.
Jeez, how many of these have I done? I don't even remember all the stuff. I also get to play the box game. The box game is where I see if I can get the Tetris situation of this box going. You know, maybe we should actually get that music to play while I'm trying to just do this. Horrific. Oh! Oh, wait. Wait, check this out, hon.
First
Clean!
time. Nice.
Clean! Clean box closure. I've done that like 4 times in my life.
It's my new band name, Clean Box Closure.
Possum Pearl.
Yes.
Hun, note Possum. I'll check the character out. And
Pearl. Yep, I remember.
the funny thing is, I thought he meant Pearl from Steven Universe because I didn't catch the possum. I'm like,
We did already.
I know, but then she'd be across from Bluto, and that's a whole lot uncomfortable because we know she likes herself some big chicks.
Hey, in a weird fan canon, Pearl can be like a very, very, very distant relative of Olive Oil.
You know,
Think
you
about
want
it.
to see those two fighting side by side because they're built almost
Yeah, they're
identically.
pretty much.
Yeah. That would actually be kind of a fabulous fighting couple, Pearl from Steven Universe and Olive Oil. And those two together would probably form
A very weird something.
Pearl, Olive Oil.
That'd be a very weird fusion.
That would be a messed up fusion. I'll just call it Pearl Oil for now. Ooh.
Slippery Pearl.
Slippery Pearl. Oh, you are beating me today. That's why I married you. Oh my God. Bluto and Pearl. Thank you,
If I
Mr.
remember,
McPhee.
I remember the song from Pearl. The Gotta Get Me a Man.
I know. Anywho, everyone, we will catch you later. Have yourself a good week.
Stay safe.